Welcome to Anglet, Chambre d'Amour in the Basque Country.
A very warm welcome to the Rip Curl Pro Anglet post show. Saturday afternoon in the southwest of France. Sun's out. Unfortunately, not a lot of surf, and for that reason, it's been a pretty tricky edition of the event this year. But here in the post show, we're going to be taking a look at some of the highlights we've had from what we have been able to run this year, and we're going to break down some of the past editions that we've run as well. Joining me for the post show, we've got a couple of characters. Remi Chaussemiche, welcome, mate.
Thank you, welcome.
And our head judge, Yannick Sarin, welcome.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
Good, mate. So you're the man making the tough calls, the big decisions. Surf, we've not really been lucky so far. Just tell us a little bit about how these decisions are arrived at and, how the event's kind of gone for you and what we've been able to do.
Well, like everybody's seen this week, we had a lack of swell whole week. So we had a little bit of waves on the first day, like 1-2 feet. We could run some hits on that day with double bank, try to get the best out of the day, and we had to stop with the high tide after, and then we pretty much got nothing the next day. So we were just looking the conditions, waiting for the tide for the right moments, but just didn't happen, and it was not, the conditions were not there to have fair conditions for all the surfers in the water. It's for men or women hits, so you need a certain amount of waves in the 20 or 25 minutes of the hits, and didn't happen. So we had to decide day by day to call it off to the next day, and so that's it. We had a really nice week, sunny, and could have been really nice, but Mother Nature didn't help, so that's what it is.
The conditions were pretty tricky. We were on some heat. Like, tell us a bit, how was it to judge those really challenging conditions?
It's really challenging for the surfers first. Like, you cannot really tell the waves. You have to go on everything pretty much, and it's a little bit of luck. Like, you're gonna have one section here and there that's gonna help you have a little bit of scoring potential. The main thing when it's that small is try to get the waves that's gonna come during your hit, and because it's gonna allow you to get more speed than the other waves and have a little bit more projection in your turns. That's going to score a little more than the guys trying to get speed and pumping the whole wave and just putting the board there on the lip but getting stuck. So the speed is the most important for sure in those conditions.
All right, so some of the challenges of judging what we have been able to run. We're going to take a little look at some highlights, though. We've had a couple of days of competition here down in Anglet. Tried to really pick the eyes. Obviously, our head judge and our surfers combining to make these calls. Let's have a little look and see what we've been able to run so far. So that's our spot here, Chambre d'Amour. There's the dig, and provides pretty decent sandbars. I mean, this is a really consistent break. Normally, a little bit of swell, we're picking it up here.
That's a pity, because like normally there's plenty of swell here. Like we have really good swell. Like nothing compared to this.
Luis Heli Batista, the Brazilian based in Portugal. He is super light on his feet, this guy. If anyone can get speed going in tricky conditions, it's him. And Mi Manabre out of Tahiti came from big swells over there and got down to work.
Yeah, he came straight from Tiopo, toe size to that, and difficult for him. And there is Vincent Duvignac. That's one of the best wave of the contest, like with two turns. So as you see, really challenging.
Raul Borman, a fiery character out of Portugal. A little whip in his surfing as well. We kind of use that fire to generate a bit of that crucial speed. But as we can see, it's pretty much kind of knee-high on the sets and very difficult for our athletes. The women gave it a fair crack at the whip as well. We saw nice flashes, but really not much to get excited about surf-wise this year.
Yeah, exactly. That was difficult for both men and women. Like, everybody was fired up to try and to serve, but as Yannick told, like at a stage, yeah, you get to see the evidence and make the right call.
And Yannick, some surfers are more keen to get involved in those discussions than others, I'm thinking. All right, so that's a look at our highlights that's gone down in 2021. Not loads of surf action to bring you, unfortunately, this year. It's the way it is with dealing with Mother Nature. That's what makes it so special when we do get waves, and we can tell you we have had some classic conditions in the past. We're going to be shortly having a look back at some of our previous editions of the QS event here. But before we get into that, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. Join us for more of the post show from the Rip Curl Pro Anglet right after this. Back to the Rip Curl Pro Anglet post show. Joining us now to chat about life here in Anglet, surf conditions, is a man with a bit of silverware in the trophy cabinet from here, Andy Criere, former champion of the event here, runner-up last year in the French Rendezvous. Andy, welcome, mate. How's things?
Thank you, boys. Everything's going well. Wishing for a bit more waves today, but that wasn't the case. Well, it happens. We do what we do in the ocean, and there's days like this.
Yeah, as Paul was saying, like we had some pretty good success here, and you had two, like 3 times finalist, 1-time winner. Yeah, tell us how it is when it's pumping here.
Well, I've been surfing here since I'm 12 years old, and I've been coming a lot actually. It's a place that taught me a lot as a surfer, and I've seen pretty good conditions here. And we've been pretty lucky also in every event we've done here. I've got very good memories from the first year, and probably the best waves I've ever surfed here in a heat. So it's been special so far. Even this year, well, it's special in another way because there's no event. I haven't seen a cancelled event till now, but I guess.
Well, great memories from Anglet. We're going to take a little look back at the package and see some highlights of what's gone down in years gone by. Of course, this was 2015 and we kicked off with an absolute bang, and it was absolutely pumping, Andy, for this edition.
That was the best one this year.
Yeah, barreling waves, big show. That was pretty amazing. That was a good success for Anglet, and yeah, I remember everybody was really pumped about the conditions. And, well, it's a good surprise for everybody. And
oh, great surprise. Some broken boards also, and barrels.
And wave-wise around here, when things come together, pretty similar conditions to Osgore, some of the other kind of famous waves in this region. Anglet can really pack a punch. Like you said, great barrels. We saw some sick vision there on screen. But when everything lines up, this will be, in terms of a beach break, a really class wave.
Oh, for sure. Can be a world-class wave because make some wedges, you know. Sometimes it's hard on a beach break to find that setup, you know, to make wedges. And here, as it just goes into that falaise and Biarritz, then comes back and it handles some swell in the end, you know, which is what you want.
So 2015, we kicked off with QS competition. It's kind of current guys occupying the sort of latter parts of August in that famous French summer holiday. And things carried on rolling from there each year. We were blessed with pretty good surf. This was 2016. And again, maybe not quite the size that year, but offering something different, more kind of maneuvers, a few little ramps too.
Also, a lot of opportunities. Forehand, backhand, left, right. A lot of tides too. So it's a very good place to be a complete surfer.
yeah, and as you mentioned, like end of summer, normally that's the first waves of winter coming in, and normally in Anglet at that time of the year, like we have some great conditions. That's quite special this year. We don't have any waves, but yeah, normally during that last week of August, that's always pumping in France. And as we can see on screen, like all the surfers are having fun and having a blast in Anglet's waves.
Yeah, Justine Dupont, before she kind of made her name in the big waves, she was doing business on the QS, looking at Leonardo Fioravanti, of course, now established on the championship tour. But Anglet's been such an important part of the stories and the progression of a lot of surfers. It's amazing to see how many surfers from here have actually gone on to qualify. That's been it's kind of a key event in the QS season.
Always. Every time I was coming here for the event, you could see the best surfers in the world, and especially, to see them at home where I grew up. And that also gives you the motivation to, in a way, to have that positive mindset of it's possible. I've surfed with them and made a couple of good hits with them, and it all comes to this, to the opportunity, to that wave that might change the hit.
Headline performances in 2016, and we kept that energy rolling 2017 as well. Also brought us waves, slightly different conditions, but still plenty on offer for our athletes. And one of the other things great about this venue, you see when it's smaller as well, our spectators can get really close. We've got that little kind of almost like amphitheatre here with the jetties and the promenade there, and the fans love it here, Remi.
Yeah, it can get really close from the action, and 2017 was pretty special year because half a local won here, that was Ramzi Boukam who won the event, and Ramzi is he's Moroccan, but he spent a lot of time here in Anglet at the cold fronts and stuff like that, so that was also a special year. So yeah, always good success for some locals for the French dudes or half French dude here. So yeah, that was a good year as well.
Plenty of waves on offer through 2017. Some sharp surfing from Maud Lecart, a little short drive down the coast for her to come down here and surf. And everyone making the most of a good soundbar offering rights and lefts throughout the week. As we've been mentioning, just been pretty unlucky this year. We get that in surfing, Andy. From your point of view, you look at the forecast before an event starts, you got an idea of what it's going to be, but in your mind each day when you're coming down, you're just trying to stay positive. I saw you went for a little surf just before, actually.
I did. I wanted to just give it a try, get wet. Obviously, you never want to have a forecast like that because it's tricky, but I was optimistic and I thought it could have been run. Thing is, it was from the last week, the week before we watched the forecast was pretty tricky, not much energy.
All right, so big performances down in 2017. Coco Hope going all the way with a big performance from her, the Hawaiian. And a big show for everyone coming down to watch. Andy, we just touched earlier, thinking back to the French Rendezvous last year, a bit of a weird year for everyone, but we managed to get professional surfing back. We came right back here. We had our now reigning world champ and Olympic gold medalist Italo Ferreira's in town. You surfed in a final against him. That must be a nice memory for you to have from Chambre de Mont Anglet.
For sure, it was one of the best moments of my career so far. He was the current world champ, and he is now the first gold medalist in the Olympics. So you couldn't wish for much more. Maybe beating him, yeah. That would have been great.
And you had the lead for quite a bit in that final as well.
Yeah, until he just started doing his airs and his game, and I was just hoping for a better wave, which I had. I had the opportunity. I did a good turn. I almost had a 6 for one turn, and I was right there. In the battle.
That's a little trip down memory lane. Thinking back to the present now, prepping for the Challenger Series coming up. That's going to be really, really exciting.
It is. It is a new exciting beginning, it's a new step, it's a new adventure.
You ready, mate?
Oh,
ready to rip it?
I will be ready, yeah, for sure. Let's see how it goes.
All right, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. After, we're going to bring in one of our qualified surfers from the Challenger Series from Europe, Teresa Bonvalot. That's all coming up right after this.
Rip Curl.
Welcome back to the Rip Curl Pro Anglet post-show. And we've got another very talented performer from European shores joining us to chat all things Anglet and professional surfing in general. Teresa Bonvalot, welcome.
Thank you so much, guys.
Obviously, not the week we'd really hoped for, but overall, how's your vibe? How are you feeling in yourself?
Yeah, definitely wasn't the week that we were all hoping for. Coming here, I haven't been here I was here last year, but in this event, there's been quite a long time since I'm not here. So I was really hoping for some waves, some really fun waves here, hot water, something that Portugal doesn't have. But I mean, just trying to stay positive and just trying to make this trip enjoyable as well. Was tough, was small, still had a couple serves, trying to fit turns in those small conditions, but really looking forward for the next chapter and the next events and stuff.
Well, let's talk about that next chapter, next event down in Teresa, the first week of October. Challenger Series in Europe. I'm talking. Obviously, you've got Huntington before that, but overall, you must be psyched on the Challenger Series. How's your prep going? How's your surfing? How's your form?
For sure, it's been, definitely a really nice year. Being in Olympics, now coming to this new Challenger Series, which will happen as well at Portugal. I've been feeling really good, trying to work everything and make myself as much comfortable as I can be in those events, and just try to give my best and enjoy all this as I love to do competition.
Okay, let's check out some highlights from 2018, another edition of the event here in Anglet, and some cutthroat QS competition. We're going to roll that tape and remind ourselves what went down here 3 years ago. And, well, it won't be a surprise though, we have more surf than we've had this year, and some fun conditions. Teresa, you memories from surfing in this event?
I don't think I came in 2018. I haven't been here that long, but I've seen all on WSL and stuff, and it looked really fun, really fun.
Your fellow Portuguese surfer Vasco Ribeiro was in the final against Gashian. That was a pretty good edition. Female side, I think that was from New Zealand winning it. Pretty good edition, we had some good waves, there was, yeah. As usual at that time of the year, Anglet is normally pumping, and not this year, but probably next year.
And we saw some of the veterans as well, Sofia Milanovic, so a great mix of talent in Anglet. We've got the young up-and-coming talent, we've got the established former world champions. This is 2019, and we just kept on rolling with the QS competition here, and the surf kind of dialed up again. You can see a little bit about the power of the wave here too, Teresa.
Yeah, for sure. This wave, I think this wave is amazing. There's always some wedges. You can always find some waves. And normally all the times that I come here, it's always pumping. It's always nice because you, without a wetsuit or a tutu. And surf these waves, it's just everything is on top. It's a cherry on top of the cake.
So what's next for you back home? A little bit of preparation, and then before you head to the States?
Yeah, I'll go home for a week and then head to the States a bit early and just practice, get my boards ready, everything ready, and get a little bit accustomed to the Californian waves.
All right, well, listen, we wish you the very best of luck with that. We'll be joining you in Teresa and back up here in France as well on the Challenger Series pumps to Europe. But Teresa Bonvalot, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck for the rest.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to bring in our tour manager from Europe, Rob Gunning. We'll see you right after this.
Rip Curl. Rip Curl.
Welcome back to the Rip Curl Pro Anglet. Still in bright sunshine, still not much surf, a little cool breeze coming off the ocean now in the afternoon, and a very cool character joining us to break down some changes at the World Surf League. It's our tour manager out of Europe, Rob Gunning. Welcome, mate.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Hello, Rob.
Hi, Remi.
How's that for an intro? Pleased with that?
Oh, that's an excellent intro, Paul. It's one of the best I've ever heard. Thank you.
Let's talk, first of all, a couple of thoughts here. It's been challenging. It's not a great deal to say. We didn't get much surf. Not much we can do.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, that's for sure. And we did as much as we could with that first day on Tuesday, running the double banks, getting through 30 heats, at least getting down to the round of 64 in the men. We did some women as well, getting them into the round of 32. So we got to the top-seeded rounds. We share the points, and we move on to the next event.
Speaking of which, we've got a bunch of changes. Challenger Series is going to kick off soon in Huntington Beach. Probably come back here to Europe and then go to Hawaii. And then we've got a new format as well in terms of next year in the WQS. Can you first of all, let's focus on Challenger Series. Let's talk us through the kind of the nuts and bolts of that, how that's going to work.
Yeah, it starts on the 20th of September at the US Open, and then there's another 3 events, 2 here in Europe and the final one in Haleiwa in Hawaii. And from those 4 events, they're going to classify the top 12, top 6 women for the Championship Tour of 2022. So it's going to be a special year with the CT already having finished. The whole focus of the surfing world will be on these 4 events. So that's something new. It's going to be exciting, and for sure there's going to be a ton of pressure. The surfers are going to be going like 200% to try and make the CT.
Yeah, and there's only 4 contests, as you mentioned, so a bit more pressure than a normal year. Like you get to perform on just quarter of a season, I would say.
Yeah. I was talking to Ramsey this morning, and he kind of liked the idea. He said he's just got this short period of time, these 3 months. Focus on it and give it all he can.
Okay, well, lots of changes afoot in professional surfing. Brand new for 2021. We've got the WSL Rip Curl Finals. That's coming up real soon over in Trestles in Southern California. And Rob, that's an exciting new format as well. Essentially, in brief, you've got a top 5 surfers, men and women, and you start at 5 and they surf against the sort of next ranked highest surfer in the sudden death until it's a best of 3. That seems really exciting. Everyone seems to kind of be behind that as well. Feels like a good time to make that change too.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. The surfers want to be there on the final day and win the world title in the water. So they're all in agreement on that. That's where they want to do it, like last year with Italo and Gabriel in pipe, where it came right down to the final heat of the year. So that's what's going to happen this year again. And yeah, the format's exciting. I think whether you're first, second, third, fourth, or fifth, you've got advantages and disadvantages. So it'll be interesting. Like, it's going to be a really interesting day, and watching how Gabriel and Criere are sort of sitting there watching these heats go unfold and waiting to see who they're going to be up against in the final 3 heats of the season.
And overall, so far, this season, the way things have gone down, obviously things have been a little bit truncated, but we had plenty of surfing earlier on in the year down in Australia. A little bit frustrating to lose Tahiti, but nevertheless, I think overall, there's been plenty of waves ridden and some real big performances as well.
Yeah. I mean, the Australian leg was great. They went to a couple of new locations with Newcastle and Rottnest Island, and they got waves. And there was new performances, and it was really good to see something new. And then they've continued with the Surf Ranch and Mexico. Very good reports from Mexico. So yeah. It's a good season.
Let's check out a graphic and see how the format is going to go down. Have a little look at how things are going to work out. So there's our schedule for the Challenger Series in 2022. So we were just touching on the 2021 Challenger Series, which starts real soon. This is how it's going to go down next year. So we're starting in May. And before that, Rob, there's going to be a cut-off from the CT. So the bottom 10 surfers from the CT will be in this mix.
Yeah, I think it's actually the 10 or 12 bottom CT surfers will drop off, and they'll start after Margaret River, after the 5th CT event. They make the cut, and those surfers that are not requalifying can jump straight onto the Challenger Series and requalify again for 2023.
Remi, where are you liking from those list of venues? Got some classic CT venues in there. There's a few jumping out, aren't there? Where do you like?
For QS, like for Challenger Series, that's some really good venues and like really comparable to the CT venues we just see here on screen. But yeah, if we can come back real quick on the Challenger Series venue, like we got some Snapper Rocks, we got like Ericeira, France, so that's Huntington Beach. That looks like a city tour as well. So
Yeah, they've been able to create like a second dream tour, let's say, for the Challenger Series, bringing back Bolito as well, going back down to Africa. So yeah, it's a complete series, 8 events, plenty of opportunities.
And we saw a new venue, which is in New Zealand, which is the big update.
Yeah, in Pija, they were going to do it right before the pandemic in 2020, in March 2020. They had to cancel the event like 1 or 2 days before they were going to start. So yeah, it's hopefully in 2022 we'll all be down there.
Okay, and our schedule for the championship tour in 2022, we just had a glimpse of it, and look at some of those. You know, you touched upon that dream tour, and there's plenty of venues that fit that bracket. Sunset back in, that's big. Back on the seat, of course, kicking off at Pipe for late season swells on the North Shore. Coming to Peniche in the winter. That could be really exciting.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see everybody wearing thick wetsuits and stuff, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But in previous years, the month of March is quite good in Peniche. So yeah, weather-wise, it's going to be a little bit colder, but for swell, great.
And you're going to be dirty if you don't make the cut. Thinking of G-Land, J-Bay, Chopin, missing out on a chance to surf those venues. So the back half of the year, some real quality in there too.
Yeah, the quality locations for sure, the second half of the year. And with the smaller formats, they're going to have more time. With 24 men, 12 women, it's great.
Okay, well, the reason why we're here, of course, this is part of a long pathway to Championship Tour qualification and ultimately a chance for a world title. We're all part of that pyramid, a part of that conversation. That's coming up real soon on WorldSurfLeague.com. We've actually been having a little sniff around our surfers area here, checking out our athletes and seeing who they fancy for the win for men and women for the Rip Curl World Surf League Finals. Let's have a look and hear their thoughts.
My pick would be Gabriel and Teresa. They are the best.
Felipe against Medina.
Gabriel Medina, Stéphanie Guillemot.
I'd say Italo, because I've been following him on Instagram and stuff, and he's been putting on such a hard work, and his surfing just became too much.
Ooh, Gabriel Medina. I'm kind of in between of Steph and Teresa. I mean, they're both my favorite surfers. Each one of them complete each other for me.
Medina.
Gabriel Medina.
Italo. Me. No, Felipe Toledo.
Felipe.
Gabriel Medina.
So I think the world champ will be Medina, and for the girls will be Carissa Moore.
Okay, let's go for Felipe Toledo.
Gabriel is looking really good, really good. I think it's his best year and he's been so consistent and solid. I really like Felipe Toledo too, huh?
My picks would be Joan Defay and Italo Ferreira.
I pick Stephanie Gilmore. She's the best stylish surfer, so that's my pick.
I'd go Felipe or Gabriel.
I'm for Joan Defay because I'm really good friend of her and I hope she's gonna be in the final with Carissa.
Gabrielle for the boys and Steph for the girls. And Steph is one of my friends, so I'm cheering for my friends, I guess.
Wow, that's a big one for sure. But I mean, you know, I'm a big fan of all of them. I mean, it's amazing to see Morgan Siblick up there as the Rookie of the Year. You know, just sending it. But yeah, I'm looking at Felipe Toledo for sure and Medina. I think they will be the battle of the year. It will be amazing to watch, and I'll be watching for sure. No matter what the time is or where I am in the world, I'll be watching that event.
Well, not a ton of surprises in there, as you might expect. The way that is, you know, you're sitting in that number one spot, you're looking pretty good. Remi, I am going to need two names for you, man and woman, please. You're in the hot seat.
I would say men. I have to go for Gabriel. Like, he's been impressive all year long, and because I'm French, and as we say in France, I'm really chauvin. I would say Joan Defay for women.
Nice, Rob. I think I'm gonna, you know, do you want to give us your call?
Oh yeah, I know the answer. It's Morgan Siblick and Joan Defay.
There he is.
Without a doubt.
Classic gunning. We love it. thanks very much for tuning in. We've been a little bit unlucky with Surf It. Nevertheless, the vibes have been good. It's been great to gather the tribe again in Anglet in beautiful southwest France. Stay tuned to worldsurfleague.com. The finals coming up soon. Crowning world champion for men's and women's. We're looking forward to that. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you real soon. Take care, guys.
See ya.
Welcome to Anglet Chambre d'Amour in the Basque Country.